Hello, welcome back. I'm Noreen Burke, owner of Call Clutter Fairy Home Organizing, and this is my YouTube channel, The Crafty Organizer. Today is a completely unplanned video, but I want you guys to see what real life is sometimes. I know so often YouTubers present themselves in a way that it's spacious and beautiful and lovely and everything is perfect and all you do is look wishing your life was like that. I watch other YouTubers wishing, man, I wish I had more space, bigger budgets, bigger rooms, more, and wishing that I had my things together. So I want to be completely transparent and show you how I deal with my own things when they get out of hand, because I'm human too, and my things get completely chaotic and I make piles the best I can until I just have to stop and organize. So today I'm going to show how I get organized when things have been adding on unexpectedly. So let's go. This is the Crafty Organizer's desk right now. And before it sounds like I'm complaining, I want to admit immediately how blessed I feel to have so much going on that is going to lead me to providing for my family and getting to help people and stay fulfilled. All of that being said, this is a lot of piles, and I know this is something that you guys are always asking me about, is how do I stay on top of all of my paperwork? So here's what I'm going to show you. These are piles. So this little holder is all of my actual Call Clutter Fairy business needs, and that works perfectly for me. That blue notebook works great when I have to meet with a client. The black and white one below it is my schedule for when I'm making appointments, and then the bottom one is what I use for my employees and my contractors. That all works great. But then there's all of this extra stuff that has been pretty new since the pandemic. So this pile is bills. Not that that changes, but they're ever going, and I try and set them on my desk when it's time to pay, and then they sit there. This is all of my planning for my YouTube channel, and I'm really trying to plan out ahead of time so that I am more consistent on when I post them. But that means there's a lot of research and a lot of planning and a lot of documentation that I need to get ready ahead of time. So that's a new pile. My greatest joy right now is my friend mail. I can't tell you how much I love interacting with you guys, but that is something new that I need to figure out how to sort, organize, and stay on top of. And then another thing that is absolutely benefiting my life and I'm hoping is giving forward is my new virtual organizing. And that is all thanks to my Patreons, which is the next pile over here. So these two are working together, but I definitely need to get organized so that I know who I'm talking with, how I've got them set up, make sure I'm acknowledging and thanking my Patreons and keeping them in the loop. So those are new bits. And then this is a secret project that I can't talk to you about yet, but I might be working in collaboration for a long-term, well, that's all I can say. I'm really excited about that, but I can't talk about it yet. So all of this together, as you can see, I don't have a big desk. So if I just put it in one pile, I'm leafing through things all of the time, and that's not working. So let me show you what a few of my solutions are going to be. Now, you saw that I already had piles broken down, so I'm not going to show you that part, but I am going to show you how I set these up so that they're super accessible. Now, I have a lateral file cabinet right next to me. However, it's not easy to get into because when I'm working in the garage, Domino, my puppy dog, is right in front of it all of the time. And he's a senior dog, so that means every time I open up the drawer, it scares him and he gets all shaky, and so I try and keep him as calm as possible. So the drawer on the bottom, I have just my office supplies so that I don't have to go into it very often. And then I keep the top for my records. So the things that I need to grab all of the time, as silly as it is, I try and keep out so I don't disturb my dog. But also I touch these things several times throughout the day. So just having them literally at my fingertips is what works best for me. It also helps because as I'm printing things out, I can just tuck it in. And I would love to know, I know digital is the way to go, but I'm still a touch my paper kind of girl. Let me know in the comments below if I'm alone or if you need to print things out to see them too. So once I print things out, what this system will allow me to do is either just put it in a binder and I can slip it in the front pocket if I haven't addressed it yet, or I can just simply file it in the section I'm creating to get through it. So I went to Daiso, and a lot of you have asked what Daiso is. Daiso is a Japanese Dollar Tree, and they've sprouted up in a lot of places throughout the US. They are $1.50 and up, but they have such amazing different things than you would ever find at the 99-cent store, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. So if you have one close by, check them out. But they are also online at daisojapan.com, and I will put that in the description below. But here's what I got from the store. I started off with a couple of 1-inch binders, and I know you can get these at the Dollar Tree. These are a little bit of a higher quality. They're a little bit thicker, but the reason I also chose to go to Daiso for these is they also have 1/2 inch, they have 3-inch, and they have a few 5-inch every once in a while. So if you've got something that's super thick and you're really storing it up, Daiso will give you the best selection of different sizes. I know my categories are going to be small, so I'm choosing to just go with the thinner binders. I also just grabbed a few more sheet protectors while I was there so that I could easily create my categories. Now, I did not buy page dividers because most dividers are just slightly larger than paper. The standard size piece of paper is 8.5 by 11. So the standard divider is 8 3/4 by 11 1/4. So it literally is only a tiny bit bigger. And then it has the tab. The page protector is deeper than a piece of paper, and inevitably also deeper than what your dividers will be. So once you put the paper inside, the divider gets tucked behind, and then you can't see your dividers anymore. You can buy extended, deeper dividers, but they are a little bit pricier. So I'm going to show you how I use just my regular sheet protectors as dividers, and that way I'm saving on cost, I can customize it, and most importantly, I can see my divided section. So right off the start, I have to crack up and correct myself. I think I underestimated the friend mail because I thought I could fit it in a 1-inch binder. Here's my box of friend mail so far though. So I think I get to go back and get the 5-inch just to make sure this all fits in. But here's my plan with the friend mail. I really like reviewing these, especially before I send out a note card. So I want to have a folder that has everybody broken down alphabetically. And that way when I get a new note, I can keep it in order and I can reflect back and remember what our conversation is before I send out a note. So this one's going to have to wait, and I'm bummed about that because I was really excited to get my friend mail put in order. I'm writing friend mail today, so if you are within my list, be on the lookout. Within the next couple of days, you should get that card. So all I'm doing right now, and I'm hoping that none of this is visible, if so, I will block it all out, but I'm just going to go old school and alphabetize everything by last name. I hate it when they send me no return address. I can't say thank you. All right, so we've got B, C, D. I do break these down so that I can easily leaf through and find the name of the person right away. Once that's done, it's time to make tabs. So I go into Microsoft Word and I just create tables. Now, I'm not going to go into this too much, but I just created a bunch of small tabs. I set the columns to 1/2 inch so that my tabs would only stick out 1/2 inch. And then I set the rows to be 1 inch. And that way, when I cut these out, they'll be the perfect size for tabs. The next thing I do is change my font so that I can have it centered. And I have something that's pretty. So I choose, I think, Bookman Antiqua, and I just start filling in my alphabet. I'm printing this on a pretty blue paper so that it matches my aesthetic. And I also printed out my spines with a little design so that when I cut them and put them all together, it looks really nice on my desk. So here's where you could see how we'll cut them. They'll all be long strips, but then the smaller tabs will be cut into squares. So with my paper cutter, I have light gray lines that I can easily follow, but they won't show up. I printed them out darker here so you can see. So the letters will be a square, but there's a small fold line, and these will be what become my tabs on each sheet. So cut those out into little squares. You can use your paper cutter or your scissors. And then I'm going to be using my duck brand shipping tape, which I love so much, as my cover and a way to adhere these to my sheets. So you're going to put your tab upside down, and you want the fold completely covered because you're only going to have tape to the right and the left of the tab. We're going to cut off any excess that's on top or bottom of it. So here I'm going to take my scissors and trim off the excess tape. Now you can definitely lay this out on your tape much more efficiently. I was just trying to show you quickly how I'm placing it on the tape. So I'm cutting off the excess here, and I'll just set that aside. With these two tabs, I'm now going to cut it in half, and I will have two pieces ready to attach to either my piece of decorative paper, cardboard, sheet protector, whatever you're going to be using. So I'm going to fold it in half, and when I did mine initially, I did fold these ahead of time to be easier, but the paper will not stick to itself. So if you're not using any type of adhesive paper, just take your favorite type of glue, put a little glue on the inside, and that way it sticks to itself and stays closed. But now I'm ready to attach it, and I'm using paper here again just for demonstration purposes. But you're going to line this up. If this is your first tab, you're going to line it up to the top, and the tape will help you immediately set it down. Pinch it together, and this is where the glue comes in handy to keep it closed, and the extra tape on the back side allows you to attach it to both sides. Here's your first tab. Now you're going to do the exact same thing to the second one. So I'm using a different piece of paper so you can see, but I use the second page to help me line up where I want that tab to be. And this is a little bit cumbersome because I'm holding it up in the air for the camera, but if you've got this laid down, you can easily line it up, and you just want your tab flush against whatever you're using as your divider. And then again, squeeze it so that the tape stays in place, and you have your second divider. This is a game changer because you can use this technique to match whatever aesthetic you want, and you can attach it to whatever you've already got going on. So I'm going to use my sheet protectors. I don't need any other type of divider. I just want to be able to quickly go to the letter of the alphabet for the person's name and have easy access. So now I go through my book. I already have these set up, and now look how easy it is for me to leaf through and find the person I'm looking for. Now I'm cutting down my spines. I like this because I can quickly create a box with a light gray border so I can see where to cut it, and I just sized these so it was the 1/2 inch, or 1.5 inches, and then I can slide these in. Of course I take off the sticker, but look how nice this looks when it's all done. They're my Clutter Fairy blue, my Crafty Organizer blue, and it looks so much better. Now another thing I like to talk about is setting something up so it's useful to you. So I made these virtual organizing pages. I went through my notes, I looked at the things that I was consistently asking or the information I needed, and I created a set form so that I don't have to keep remembering things to ask. And it, again, makes it so much easier. So when you're working on a project, try and be mindful about what you need and just create a template. The great thing about these binders is they can be used with a dry erase marker or one of those wet dry markers. Here's another tab set I created just for my own personal needs so that things are categorized in a way that makes sense for me. Here's my upcoming projects, and I just write the date that I plan on posting that video. And then here it is. I ended up taking out my workbooks after all because this fits so much more efficiently for my needs, and I just have my workbooks for Clutter Fairy off to the side. But this way, when I'm working at my desk, everything is super easy to access, but most importantly, easy to put away. I am so much calmer at my desk now that I know where everything is. And I had mentioned making those custom forms. You guys, I would love to do a tutorial on how to use Microsoft Word and Excel because templates like these aren't that scary to use. If you're efficient on either of those programs, do yourself a favor. If you're repetitively doing bill paying, scheduling, create a template so that it reminds you of things to do. And it also just kind of trains your brain of knowing what that item is used for. I think that it's such a time-saving technique to do. But if you don't have any type of a computer program or you're not that comfortable using it, draw something out on a piece of paper, write yourself some little notes, and just get to a copier at Kinko's, at the post office, make some copies, and then keep those in a notebook. It really helps to keep yourself on track. You can date something and then just keep it going inside of that notebook. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. This is the new camera. I'm learning things, so if you're noticing the coloring or the lighting is off, I will get better. And I also don't have a microphone that fits this yet, so I'm hoping that the sound is better. But as I was editing the first part of this, I did notice there wasn't any more of that crazy static sound that was coming through. So I'm so excited for that. I also did just complete my first virtual organizing project that is going to be posted. I'd already finished a few more before this, but we hadn't agreed to have it posted, and I understand that. I respect everyone's privacy. So the gal that I worked with is going to be sending me her footage, and I will be putting that video together, and I can't wait for you to see. This gal knocked it out of the park, and if she's watching, you did a fabulous job, and I can't wait to get this posted. So thank you to my Patreons for allowing that to happen. They are listed here, and they are the ones that are supporting my ability to give back to you and get you virtually organized. And hopefully someday soon, I'll be able to get that RV and start traveling to the rest of you who aren't in my area or who could use just a little bit more help than what I can do virtually. I will see you guys in just a few days. Bye.